Alrighty, welcome back in. I'm going to be reviewing Saturday's action from the MLB. Starting things with, kicking things off between the Brewers and the Mets, the second game for both of these squads, respectively. The Brewers would prevail 7-6 would be the final score. Elvis Peguru, wow, his first win of the season. Luis Severino would suffer the loss, and Abner Irby would get his second save of the season. So the Milwaukee Brewers are 2-0. The New York Mets are 0-2. Two teams from the NL Central. There's the Detroit Tigers. We're continuing their series with the Chicago White Sox. As you can see on the screen, the final score would be 7-6. Shelby Miller would get the first win of the season, and Devi Garcia would suffer the loss for the Sox. Another division matchup in the NL East, as we have the Atlanta Braves, and they are continuing their series with the Philadelphia Phillies. The Braves would get a blowout win, 12-4 would be the final score, improving to 2-0. The Phillies dropped to 0-2. Jesse Chavez would get his first win of the season, and Aaron Nola would suffer his first loss of the year. The Los Angeles Angels of Anaheim were continuing their series with the Baltimore Orioles. The Orioles would win big, 13-4 would be the final score. The Orioles are now 2-0 on the season, while the Angels are 0-2. Grayson Rodriguez would pick up his first win of the season, and Griffin Canning would suffer the loss. The Cleveland Guardians took on the Oakland A's. This would be a one-sided affair, to say the least. 12-3 would be the final score. The Guardians have now improved to 3-0, while the A's have dropped to 0-3. Nick Sandlin would pick up the win, and J.P. Sears would suffer the loss. The Blue Jays were continuing their series with the Tampa Bay Rays. 5-1 would be the final score. The Blue Jays dropped to 1-2. The Tampa Bay Rays improved 2-1. Zach Little would pick up his first win of the season, while UC Kichuki would suffer his first loss of the year. The Pittsburgh Pirates were continuing their series with the Miami Marlins. 9-3 would be the final score. The Pittsburgh Pirates have now improved to 3-0, while the Miami Marlins have dropped to 0-3. Jared Jones would pick up the first win of the season, and Ryan Weathers would suffer the L. The Minnesota Twins were continuing their series with the Kansas City Royals. 5-1 would be the final score. The Twins have now improved to 2-0. The Royals have dropped to 0-2. Griffin Jax picked up his first win of the season, while Will Smith suffered his first loss of the year. The Washington Nationals were continuing their series with the Cincinnati Reds. It'd be a nail-biter. 7-6 would be the final score. Both of these teams are now sitting at 1-1. Hunter Harvey would pick up the win. Alexis Diaz would suffer the loss, and Kyle Finnegan would pick up his first save of the season for the Nationals. The Texas Rangers were continuing their series with the Chicago Cubs. 11-2 would be the final score, a one-sided affair. The Rangers have now improved to 2-0, while the Cubs have dropped to 0-2. Cody Bradford would pick up his first win of the season, while Kyle Hendricks would suffer the loss. The San Francisco Giants were continuing their series with the San Diego Padres. The Giants would prevail 9-6. They have now improved to 2-1 on the season, and after the loss, the Padres are now 2-3. Jordan Hicks would be the winning pitcher in this matchup. He has now gotten his first win of the season, while Dylan Cease dropped to 0-1. The New York Yankees were continuing their series with the Houston Astros. As you can see on the screen, 5-3 would be the final score. Marcus Stroman would get the W. Brian Abreu would suffer the loss, and Clay Holmes would pick up his second save of this young season. The Colorado Rockies took on the Arizona Diamondbacks, continuing their series. They finally got their first win of the season. They are now 1-2. After the loss, the Diamondbacks suffered their first loss of the year. They are now 2-1. Peter Lambert got his first win. He is now 1-0, and Tommy Henry suffered the loss for the Diamondbacks. He's 0-1. The St. Louis Cardinals were continuing their series with the Los Angeles Dodgers. For the St. Louis Cardinals, it would be a nail-biter to say the least. 6-5 would be the final score. and that's their first win of the season. They are now sitting at 1-2. After the loss, the Dodgers are sitting at 3-2. Ryan Helsley would pick up his first win of the season. Kyle Hurt would suffer the loss, and Giovanni Gallegos would get his first save of the year. Alrighty, the last matchup from Saturday took place in Seattle, as we have the Seattle Mariners, and they are playing host to the Boston Red Sox. 4-3 would be the final score in favor of the Mariners. They're now 2-1. The Boston Red Sox are 1-2. Taylor Sakido would pick up his first win of the season, while Joely Rodriguez would suffer the loss. Alrighty, that takes care of Saturday's recap of the MLB. As always, if you're new to this channel and you like this type of content, please feel free to hit the sub button. I'd be very grateful and very appreciative. Until next time, take care.